topic, that is atomic generation. So what they're trying to say here, atomic generation is a generation of individual data items or transaction descriptor. So before that we are talking in terms of packets. Now we are talking about each field of a packet. So this is somewhat lower layer in the verification environment. So each is generated independently of the items or descriptor that have been previously generated or that will be subsequently generated. So whatever data item you are going to generate, okay, so that data item is going to be independent of the previous item, okay, or it should be independent of the items that you are going to generate next. So the atomic generation is like using a random function that return a complex data structure instead of a scalar value. Now what they are trying to say is that it will return a random function, okay, and it may be either a complex data structure. It depends upon the application how we are using that thing. Now you see atomic generator they have implemented from a transactor, and they have created one handle to that class. Now they are using what protector means this class, the task which they have written, you can only modify this task by inheriting that thing, then only you can use this thing. While if some condition is there, now you are checking this dot you're calling the randomize function, okay. So if randomization fails, during that time it will return 0. If randomization passes, it will return 1, and on that basis you can display the message. So we know that one more layer is there in layer test bench approach, that is called a scenario layer. Now we'll see how to generate a scenario, means how to generate a transaction in scenario layer. A scenario generator generates sequence of data items or a transaction descriptor. So this is the objective of the scenario generator, to generate the data items and transaction descriptor. So that is the purpose of rand sequence statements. So here what we will do, we'll use randomization, okay. We'll use rand sequences in order to make those things streamlined. However, rand sequence statement is a procedural statement. So this is we know that rand sequence construct is procedural in nature. Modifying the construct or defining new scenarios in the scenario generator implemented using this statement require the generator itself be modified, potentially breaking or modifying the behavior of the existing task. But they're trying to say, suppose if you are using rand sequences in your scenario generator in order to constrain, okay, in order to constrain it, so in that case what will happen? In that case it will break. Means what if you have implemented scenario generator, okay, so actually you are modifying itself, potentially generator is modified itself, okay. So already you have created an environment, okay, so it will change the behavior of the existing test case. So a scenario generator that make use of object oriented framework will allow such modification to be made without modifying the generator. But if you are implementing the oops concept with the help in scenario on scenario generator, in that case you can avoid changing the already existing class, okay. So what they are trying to say is a scenario is described and randomized using an array of data items or a transaction descriptor. So they are telling that if you are creating a scenario, okay, you can randomize it, okay, or you can use an array of you can use data items or a transaction descriptor. So it is possible to constrain items and descriptor with respect to other before or after it in the sequence, because this array is randomized all at once. What they are trying to say is, so there are some items and some descriptors that are available in your class, okay. So there are certain sequences. So if you are using arrays in order to mimic data or transaction descriptor, in that case you can randomize all the things at once. So this style lets the solver consider the past, current and future items and descriptor when solving a constraint set over the stimulus sequences. Create two scenarios concurrently, okay, with the help of same descriptor, okay. So you have to assign different values to this scenario ID, okay. So the constraint defining the particular scenario must be enclosed in qualifying precondition. So they are taking that thing within parenthesis. Okay, I think what they are trying to say, using a separate constraint block for each random scenario will also allow a scenario to be redefined in further extension of the scenario descriptor. If you are using a constraint block, okay, for each random scenario, whenever you want to create a random scenario, you are using one constraint block. So in that way you can extend this block also. Okay, so Ethernet frame sequence is there. You are creating your own class, and after that you are constraining that class. So in this way you can specify a new random scenarios.